Alright, so you're considering Bluetooth speakers, and you're wondering if the Harman Kardon Studio, either 1, Studio 2, or Studio 3 is worth it. What are the differences? Well, I have a Studio 1, Studio 2, Studio 3 right in front of me. And I've had quite a bit of time with this one, the Studio 1. And I've even actually modified it. The grill comes off really nice and easy. It's a really soft, meshy grill. Probably delicate if you know, left without a case. I mean, the speaker is just beautiful. It's got so I watched some of the other videos on YouTube, and I have to say 15,000 hits for a guy lining 3 of these up and not saying a word, and then playing each one of them, the music out of them. It's like, that's not going to, you can't appreciate the sound that these speakers make whenever you got, I mean, my microphone on my phone is not going to pick up what the deep bass that these can make and the high highs that these can make. I mean, they may not look like much, but these are, what I found on these is the phase is reversed. So whenever these speakers hit, they don't push out, they hit in. So the phase is reversed. And the reason why they reverse the phase is because the air pressure, they push the air pressure in here, and then the passive radiators, these aren't even speakers, these just radiate the bass out. So you got 2 passive radiators on here, one on the front, one on the back. These aren't speakers, they're just movable rubber circles. And that one's metal. And I put, the reason why there's Velcro on the back of this one is because I put like a Velcro cup on the back. I was trying to protect the radiator for if I wanted to like play it in an enclosed surface, because if you get these too close to anything, like if you're driving down the road and you want to hear it in your car, I don't have a good speaker system in my car, so I was like, hey, I'll just play this, and anything that this touches, it's going, rah, you know. So, you know, your grill's got to protect that on the front. But that's, I like how easy this grill comes off on this one. Oh, and the Onyx one, it does, you know, you've only got Bluetooth connectivity and, you know, volume buttons and your power. And then as far as your options on the back, it's got, well, I added another option, I'll tell you about that in a second, but you know, you got your power, I don't know if you can see that, and USB, which I don't even know what you can even do with that. I tried to connect it to a computer, it didn't even recognize it, so maybe it was just because it was my work computer and the USB ports are shut off. But I actually opened this thing up, and I connected this little, I bought a little speaker part from Radio Shack. Here, I'm going to pause the video so I can go grab the, because I bought some more because I plan to modify my Studio 3. Okay, so here's this plug. It's a plastic plug. I actually drilled off these little guys that it just wasn't fitting in there right. I didn't want to make like huge holes in the speaker, so I just drilled that off, and it minimized the hole that I need to drill. It works okay. I have to, you're probably going, why in the world would you add that? But I connected it to these speakers so I could add a subwoofer to it. And when you, I mean, this speaker gets down really low. I forgot, you'd have to read the frequency response on it, but it really gets low on the bass. But if you add, now I've added the functionality to where you can plug in a headphone jack to that plug, and you've got functionality where you can expand to this is, I found this out the other day, is this, the only thing this plug, what I've done right now, is good for mids and bass. And the reason why, what I plan to do with the Studio 3 is if I can get the freaking cover off. Oh my gosh, I just got this in and I can't get that cover off. That's what I like about the 2 and the 1, although the 2 is a lot harder to get off. I bent my nail back, so it, you know, just use a butter knife or something. Don't use your nails on that. The 1s are real easy to get off. That's what I like about that. But so when I do this again, I'm gonna actually put two plugs in. The reason behind the 2 plugs, I'm gonna connect 1 plug to your tweets, and these tweeters, they don't just handle your really high highs. It's a really crisp high, but it handles a tiny bit of your mid-range too. So if you want to expand this out, I mean, literally, I wanted something to where I could just, I walk into a place and that, you know, like I go to, anyway, you've got you plug in your 1 plug into, I bought some Bose Roommate speakers, and I can plug those in. I only buy powered stuff, so the powered / active subwoofers, and the Bose Roommate system, they have built-in amplifiers in them. So I can Bose Roommate. It's just 2 little speakers. They've been around for a while. I'd buy the Roommate 2 if I were you. I got the Roommate 1, and the cables are built into it. So they've been around the block. So the Roommate 2 have just plugs. So I digress. So one of the plugs connected to your tweets, and the plug I have now is connected to here, which does great for the subwoofer that I put on it, but I want to expand it out into I want to put it out into a full system. And the Bluetooth range on these speakers, whenever I was wondering how in the heck I get such a Bluetooth range out of this. I've never had a Bluetooth speaker that goes as far as these go. When I was looking up, when I was looking up the, it was comparing the Bose SoundLink 3 to these. And if you look in the Bluetooth section, it says for the Bose, 10 meters, 30 feet. Well, with these, it just says Bluetooth 4 or something like that. But the range is just amazing. There's just nothing out there that I've messed around with that has the actual, you can walk away and forget your phone is in your pocket, walk away from this, and you're a good distance from these. I haven't done an actual test, but it's nothing. There's nothing like it. Okay, so having said that, the Studio 1 of my biggest one of the things you had to plan for, if you have to move this speaker, if it's playing and you have to move it, you disconnect your power cord and the thing shuts off. Just blink, and you have to power it up. Sometimes you have to kind of repair with it, and then you start your music again. I mean, it's kind of frustrating, to say the least. Now, I have not even turned this Studio 2 on, because after I bought the Studio 2, I realized that the Studio 3 has a dual sound capability, which you can look on the YouTube videos, where you can pair the Onyx Studio 3 with another one and double your capabilities. So in my case, I put 2 plugs in each of one of these Studio 3s, and I can expand out, and it's like a mobile DJ station that you can build up, based off of your crowd size. You got a small crowd, hey, just pop 2 of these speakers in. Hey, it gets a little bigger and a little louder. You expand your speakers out, and small powered speakers is the way I go. So as far as and this thing, I just experimented with this, just got this in, and I had to move it. I was just like, well, let's just experiment with it. I disconnected the power plug and it kept playing. I was like, thank you Harman Kardon for fixing that. Both of these have your you got a little. This was something that was unclear online, was does the Studio 3 have the microphone or not? And it does. So here to tell you, it does. I'm sorry, Studio 2. So Studio 3 also it has it too. They both have the Bluetooth phone. Remember the Studio 1 only had the Bluetooth, but now we got Bluetooth phone, your microphone. Bluetooth, phone, microphone. So you have to look up the other specs between the 2 and the 3, but the 3 is the way to go, just to me, simply because of the dual sound option. That is amazing. Okay, power supplies. They're all 19 volts. I was just reading this. 19 volt, 2 amp max. So the same power supplies. They're interchangeable between the 3 Onyx systems. And you gotta protect them. You gotta protect these things. They're kind of weird looking. I mean, here's the back of the Studio 2. Beautiful. I kind of wish the Studio 3 looked like this. They changed the legs a little bit with the Studio 3. It looks like got a little stubbier. Got a little more round on the passive radiator. It's a little bit sleeker. Again, I don't like that I'm gonna have to pry this off, because the screws to open up the whole thing so you can put your plug in, if you decide to do that, have to be accessed through the grill. So I've got to figure that out. So as far as protecting it goes, I looked online and a guy said, oh, I wanted to protect my speaker, but there wasn't anything out there. Now there is something out there specifically for it. It's a hard case. These things are a little pricey. It's like 60 bucks. But it's, you know, it gives you room for your power supply, and it's a hard case. It's really well made. It better be for that price. And I would have bought another one of these growler coolers, but the guy online that was, you know, this is before those existed, but the guy online was saying, well, I want to protect my investment. And so that's where I was just like, hey, this thing, it's oblong, so we got to make something. He said, well, I was looking around the house, I had a little double growler cooler, you know, so I bought this on Amazon. It's like 25 bucks. And it's great. I mean, it's soft. It's taken a tumble, and the speaker hasn't, you know, it hadn't damaged the speaker. Actually, this speaker took a tumble off my car, and that's when it took a big old nick out of it. I mean, it didn't affect the operation, but, you know, it goes to prove why you need something, you know. 25 bucks, 60 bucks. By the time it's said and done, Amazon was gonna charge me like 11 bucks shipping to get it to my house, because I wasn't prime. So I was just like, well, might as well just go with the actual thing that's form fitted. And that's sexy. That is a sexy case. I mean, yeah, that's necessary, but that's sexy. So anyway, that's my write-up on your Onyx Studio 1, Studio 2, Studio 3. I can't wait to get my other one in so I can pair them together and figure out how to wire in, get that grill off, so I can wire in the 2 plugs, one to the tweets and one to the mid-range and bass. But anyway, hopefully I can get at least 15,000 hits like that other guy just turned them on, started playing music. Hello, I would like to play music for you on my speakers, and you're not going to be able to appreciate the sound. So that's why I didn't even turn them on, because you're just not going to appreciate the sound unless they're in person. The cool thing about the 3, I haven't even turned the 2 on, but the cool thing about the 3 is you turn it on and it plays a little tone to let you know it's on, but it also plays a bass tone. I don't know, it's pretty cool. You probably didn't even hear that, but or it wouldn't have come through. But anyway, Studio 3 is the way to go. Most expensive one, but it's worth the money.